Gentlemen and everybody else, welcome back to Tenax Proving Grounds, the 10th installment. We're doing the semi and grand finals today. I'm Emmy, and today I'm joined by a first time DVD caster, Kiki. Hi, welcome.
Pleasure to be here, Annie. Pleasure to be here. And yeah, pleasure to cast DVD as well. As you said, first time casting it. I've maybe been strong armed by a solid friend of mine that I've also coerced to cast other stuff. But regardless, very happy to be here. Excited nonetheless. I'm sure the crowd's excited too to see how this semi final goes on. And please do tell us more about the semi final matchup between Izalith and Tamashi. What do we got?
Yes, as you said, we have two teams that we've seen here before. Tamashi have been grinding the tournament, but it's their first time that we broadcast them on the semifinals. Meanwhile, Izalith, we saw them just yesterday barely clutching out a win against Team Oh Boy in a super close Wraith Dredge Midwich set. So, since this is my first time seeing Tamashi, I don't really have a clear favorite in this matchup yet, but I just think it's going to be a great time, especially with the killers that we have for you all today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, starting off with the mastermind himself, you're always wanting to see what he can do with the dashes in terms of how many kills can he just, get via those sort of pounces during the tunneling, etc. So yeah, first map, we got that classic Cold Tower, a bit of an OG there, and coming in with the mastermind, there's plenty of room to play around the region, especially cover enough ground during the chases and stuff like that. So I'm having a feeling he's gonna look to kind of space out some of these kind of let's say chases, but not sure for for the rest of them. What about the next one we got here, Emmy?
We've got Trickster on a Wrecker's Yard. The last time we saw Izalith on stream, we already figured out that their killer player Valdez is a bit of a Trickster specialist, getting a brilliant result against the last team they were facing. And this time it's going to be on Wrecker's Yard rather than Cold Tower, which we saw the last time. Similarly small map, but in the open on Wrecker's Yard, there's way fewer line of sight brokers against the knives than you would have available on Cold Tower. No strong main building, so readily available basement. There's going to be a lot of camping. Chases will probably be a little shorter, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely an interesting setting. Something we don't see quite as often. And then, of course, we have the Wraith on Dead Dog Saloon.
Yeah, I mean, Wraith, one of the most iconic, I'd say, killers in DBD in general, because we know it's the one of the OG killers as well. And you do come into Saloon. Well, you don't obviously pick it because it's via pick and ban. It's usually the decider. No team usually forced towards it. But in general, you want to kind of find a surprising point where you can kind of control the gens at the same time whilst spreading out the chases. And just kind of try to surprise the opponent. I mean, in general, it's the kind of the core mechanic of Wraith, and let's see how they do there. Any predictions you have for us, Semi, right here? Because I don't really have a favorite in general. I'll tell you this, but just considering that Izalith took down Oh Boy, and Oh Boy was a bit of a back in the day squad, I'm kind of leaning towards them taking this one. Maybe not in two, but definitely maybe in three maps here.
Yes, I think I'm with you on preferring Team Izalith here. I think in the pick and ban section, they were able to inch out an advantage already by having a Trickster Specialist killer compared to Mastermind and Wraith, which are pretty generally popular killers that everybody scrims, knows how to play against. So they do have a bit of an element surprise on that one specific pick, which might be able to give them just the edge that they need in this competition. When it comes to Mastermind and Wraith, both sets are pretty much figured out. They have been staples ever since the inception of the comp scene and the release of Wesker himself. Dead Dog Saloon, a very solved map, especially the main building and the gallows area. Meanwhile, the Mastermind has gotten some changes with the recent patch. They made it so that those pesky hits where you would just slam your dash into a survivor that was already vaulting a window or pallet would just not connect. Those hit now,
Mm.
and it does
Oh,
change the dynamic of the killer quite a bit. I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, it's also going to be a bit of a more risky play in general because when you commit to some sort of dash towards a window, you're going to give a lot of room if you miss. Even if you hit, if they have, let's say second win or something similar, you're going to give them a lot of room to kind of break away from the chase, make some ground up. But I'm fearing like we're going to see a lot more commits from Valdez in terms of just, kind of trying to get just before the vault takes action. And hopefully it ends up getting us a lot more action and a lot more tense moments during these chases because we all know we love that the most. Kind of these chases that are kind of like neck and neck, and you're looking for some of those back and forth, let's say, balanced chases, but you're also looking for the killer to be able to express his skill level in some of these because let's be honest, the mastermind, you do require a lot of skill to kind of like play around his dashes and similar stuff. So it's just a great way for both of these players to show what they actually have ready and in store for us here today at Cold Tower, especially. So yeah, pretty neutral matchup, I'd say, in terms of the seeding. Tamashi getting fourth seed as well, so pretty strong team via seeding, but we still haven't seen them, as you said, Emmy. So I still don't know actually what to expect from them. Besides that, it's gonna be a completely new team for us.
Yeah, that's always my favorite thing about this tournament is that we get to cover so many new teams, so many smaller teams, especially now that we're also covering day one with the qualifiers and quarterfinals. Now, so far in the semis and grands, there have always been some big names, and we definitely have some of those bigger names coming up later. But for now, really excited to see Tamashi play. And I want to go back to the Mastermind talking point
Yeah.
because they made his collisions slightly weirder. Now, Wesker has a lot of tags. Everybody knows about the hug tag. But the way he interacts with objects ever since the patch dropped yesterday, he feels a bit more slidey. It is harder to get those very precise angles, to get the rebounds of the objects. So we will see if our killers have had the time to get used to those changes, or if we maybe see some minor mechanical hiccups from the killer players.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all that it seems like they've made them just very similar to Resident Evil, but less about that, more about DBD action here. And yeah, I do have a feeling that maybe we might see a slip up, maybe we have not seen someone train, but uh, whenever there's a rework of a killer, that's not really a downfall on the killer players. It's kind of like an opportunity to practice, master the new version of that same killer before the other team's killer can. And during that time, you have plenty of space to make some sort of, new discoveries, let's say. So it's like a game break. It's not game breaking, but it's definitely something that's going to give you a big advantage during some of these chases where you're going to just be able to sort of, let's say, work your way around just, being pulling out some tech that's not familiar to the survivors and maybe even catch some timings that they don't expect you to catch them. For example, oh, how did that hit me? Even though you've practiced that, you know that the killers, can't reach that. But apparently, there's some new tech that's been discovered ever since the rework, and yeah, those are always growing opportunities for both killers. And I'm very interested to see how they adapted to it because there's plenty of room to learn, there's plenty of room to make errors. So very excited for this one, Emmy.
Yeah, even in the qualifiers yesterday, we were already seeing some hits where people probably went, "Wait, how did that hit me?" So
Yeah.
those distances, especially on the window walls, have to be a bit relearned. The survivors have to be extra careful. And I definitely agree with you. It's always an opportunity to be the first one to adapt for the killers to figure out new ways to use the power properly instead of being like, the killer's dead, which in Wesker's case, definitely not. And yeah, it's not a major change, but just something that's going to make the experience for the killer player a bit more smooth in general.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely agree with that. But Albatross as the killer for Izza here, unfamiliar. I thought it was a certain other player, but less about that. Anywho, we'll figure out who the killer is eventually. We do get on that, unless you have some information to shed on us, Emmy. I wasn't here for the last cast, so I'm unsure for the proper killer for who it is for Izalith.
Yeah, no worries. We've definitely
Shed some light.
seen Albatross play
Mm.
Blight and Wesker for Izalith
Okay.
before. Albatross, my goat on the bill with the Christmas sweater. I've played with him. Really nice guy. And yeah, definitely the the person that Izalith wants when it comes to those mechanical killers. We see the survivors loading into the lobby. It's always so fun when a new chapter releases and you're seeing new faces, new,
Oh yeah.
well, unfamiliar or familiar faces, in case that you've watched Stranger Things or not.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not Sable every second game. Hopefully, not at least. In regular lobbies is what I'm referring to. But in general, whenever a new kind of survivor releases, it's not really just that this is what I like about DBD. You're not forced to play any survivor if you want their perk, because obviously we know how mastery works. You're kind of able to express yourself just via what sort of skin you like and stuff like that, and just carry over the perk from the other survivor onto that survivor, etc. Well, the core perks, at least, in terms of just usually being the best ones for each survivor. But I think we are getting ready to get into the game. So finally, the action being just around the corner here, Emmy. I will leave it all to you to take it away and get us started off on this well, beautiful first map of a Cold, I believe.
Oh, sweet summer child. Just because the players are in the lobby in
True.
DBD does not mean
They
that they're
readied up. They should
just
ready
ready
up.
to go. No, just the DVD lobbies are very special because custom games tend to crash all the time. Sometimes you get connected to the wrong server, sometimes you cannot connect to the
Oh.
host, and then it's on the players end to verify that the issue is not on their end but on behaviors end. But we do see the survivors from Team Tamashi slowly readying up, getting the builds ready, maybe doing a little double check, because if you're bringing the wrong perks, all perks have to be submitted in advance. If you're bringing the wrong one, you're gonna get penalized. And, throwing away points over nothing, you don't want to do that. The players are ready. We're going to load into the game. Cold Tower, Mastermind. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just want to see who he picks out for the first tunnel because there's plenty of rooms, plenty of room, plenty of time to just find your ideal target. Usually, it's the first person you find. There's not much braining around it. But some killers, I've learned, tend to actually really look forwards to selectively picking their first target via what sort of buffs they have, can they help the team, etc. And you definitely want to see how they respond, but that depends on what level the killer themselves is. So, without further ado, we are finally loading into a game, and we are about to get our first piece of action of the Tenax Proving Grounds semi-final one.
Hell yeah. We see Albatross on the Wesker, again going for the Unicorn medallion, spotting out two survivors near the main building immediately. And he's gonna start his first chase. Maybe doing some renovating first, making this tough to play main building a tiny bit easier by breaking the main door and not immediately committing, as you said. Looking for an easier target, maybe a survivor caught out of position trying to cross, and he does find scratch marks on this tile and finds Davis not in the main building, a tiny bit out of position.
Yeah, and the gens around, obviously he wants to get him as close as possible to these three gens. The hook is right there, so if he does manage to get this down very close to this hook, it's going to be a very, very good time and a good start for him. Let's see how he plays this one out, though, because the pallet's already down. There's already one, and maybe even a second to follow as well. She does get that boost, but for how long can she keep this up? Because this is a pretty fast injury for a start, regardless of whether it's Veska or not. You're still looking to just get that shaken off you as soon as possible.
Yeah, Daibus now stuck on this pretty unsafe pallet once it comes down. This is just playing 50s, and Albatross immediately got value from his Unicorn medallion there, having a slightly extended first rush, drops the target, goes for Clarity instead, who was trying to help out Daibus by taking a hit. Now Clarity towards the bot side on the map. Does he have a pallet to play? He does not, and he gets thrown into the wall and downed, while the first gen pops for the survivor side.
Decent chase. I mean, great switch of targets coming in from the survivor team here. They have played this one very well in terms of just managing to spread out the time needed for the first down, and this one seems to be going base, and he's not going to get the perk off at least, so it's going to be a simple red hook here, and no gen regression yet, so we're going to just have to wait and see. how this one keeps on moving, but whether they'll even be able to get him out of basement is a great question as well, because Shack, as we know, usually one of the greater playgrounds for the 1v1s.
Yeah, this is a pretty unexpectedly fast first down for Albatross here. I feel like the Tamashi survivors were a tiny bit caught off guard by the Unicorn medallion. Not a very common add-on you see. Taking Chase onto focus towards the main building, but Albatross probably just wants to get back to his basement hook. Commits very deep to the top side, misses the first dash. Focus playing this distance holder, makes it to the pallet. But Albatross does get the down. A very aggressive play.
Definitely. I mean, I thought he'd play a bit safer, especially considering you already got one person on hook. White hook right next to you, and you're already getting that gen regression inbound. 12-second countdown started a while ago, and right now, maybe no call-out, maybe no communication, but we've just seen a gen also get a bit popped there. The heal is going to take place, but unknowingly, it might be a chase soon to follow right after. Stage 2 may be inbound here for clarity.
Yeah, you usually want to have one survivor already in position to get a fast unhook if the killer overcommits the chase, but the survivors were just not expecting Albatross to aggressively commit clarity on the other side of the map when he has a hook inside the basement, which is such a hard place for the survivors to get out of without any casualties.
Definitely.
He does have a strong 3-gen around the main building, bit of a 4-gen with this top mid-side gen, and he's just very happy to patrol the area, cut off any potential unhookers, and camp focus to stage 2. Very good for Albatross so far. He was able to interrupt all the gens that have been progressed so far, and the survivors kind of had to start over from scratch.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought they would have a bit more progress considering the amount of hooks you'd see. You'd see, okay, there's 2 fresh hooks already, and you're thinking, okay, it must be like a 3-2 gen game already. No, not quite. I mean, it's a bit of a very dangerous one here for Tamashi. They are playing it risky, I'd like to say here as well, and there's just the daily chores coming through from the mastermind himself. Just cleaning up some of the gens here, starting the regression, and I'm just wondering how they're going to be able to play this through, because Foku, he's already on that stage 2, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to get him off if Albatross plays this one fine and well enough, but they definitely need to get some of the gens done in that 4-gen cluster.
As you can see, the survivors are prioritizing the generators, knowing that all of their hard work on the top side of the map has gone to waste just by virtue of focus getting downed over there. And nobody's even attempting to get the unhook. They all know, well, we can't really trade here if our survivor that's trying to unhook dies in the same spot. We don't really move an inch, so they prioritize the gen pressure and just let focus die on his first hook.
Yeah, true. I'd like to see Albatross a bit more active regardless that he's next to a hook. Yeah, it seems like they're giving up, but I would like him to just hunt for a bit more info while the hook is going on. Obviously not releasing the hook, let the hook finish out, but definitely gain some more info on what gens are going to be left over afterwards. Where's the kind of rough surrounding of the survivors, where can you find them? And it seems like we have a chase on our hands here very soon. I don't know if he saw him properly there. I don't think he did, actually, and I think he just gets away in the nick of time.
Yeah, he knows that all of his pressure area is this top side of the map, so you're gonna see all of the survivors play with a lot of distance, always run towards the bot side of the map, and if Albatross commits to one of those bot side survivors, he's giving up all of the pressure that he created in this very top side of the map, this zone that he's trying to defend.
Still plenty of gens to move around, though. 2 gens is more than enough time. Usually it comes down to a 1-gen game when there's 3 survivors, but if you can get 1 down and at least create some extra pressure there onto the survivors, maybe a stage 2 on clarity, but a fresh hook would be very nice for him, because it looks like the pressure is kind of fading. The chase is already taking a bit longer than you would have anticipated without even a single injury here. And there's a hit right now. Can he follow up on it, though? Already 1 pallet gone missing from this side of the map, and now I have a fear that he might have overextended the chase. Oh, not quite. He's dashed in. He's almost there, but they're going to look to body block for her. If they are able to, though.
Oh,
he's
no.
completely ignoring it, and no, they have failed it. I thought that was an obvious move, but regardless, Veska, he was able to pick up yet another one, and hook number 2, well, number 3 in terms of fresh hooks is on.
And we saw that one of the generators was around 90% progress. That has been interrupted. Albatross did get the eruption proc on the main building, revealing the aura of Mob. So he knows where everybody is right now. Gets a quick tag onto Clarity, putting Divers into the mending state. He has full information and the pressure is on his side.
Oh yeah, definitely, and with 2 gens still to go, it's looking like a dire situation here for Tamashi, especially proccing that sort of eruption. You don't want to do that, especially considering that you have communication with your team. You need to let your team know how that's going to play out, and sadly for the side of Tamashi, they're in a bit of trouble, but the Shack play is going very well, but smartly enough, coming out from Albatross, he leaves it and goes back to control the generators.
Yeah, and we do see Mob let go of the gen in the main building. Now 2 injured survivors on the bot side of the map, with our healthy Eddie on the top side using the balanced landing to create a lot of distance between themselves and the killer. And Albatross just needs to find this reset now. If he can do that, interrupt the survivors that are healing, get some pressure onto the map, it's looking real good for him. Otherwise, he might not be able to hold this setup for a long time. He does find the reset.
Oh, he definitely does, and we still have a single injury, maybe stage 2 inbound here for Dibis. If he can look to catch her here, avoids the pallet for the first time initially, but there might be a body block in the close proximity as well. I believe I've seen Clarity hanging around somewhere there. And yes, indeed, they do get one, but will it be enough to evade the chase, or will it just be another down? But on this turn, it might be Clarity. Meanwhile, Mopk will be getting himself potentially that generator unless we do get a proc on the side of Eruption.
Yeah, this is the second time that Clarity is taking a hit and kind of gets caught out of position afterwards, but able to hold the chase, not goes down too quickly. Albatross calls the mind game. Now Clarity wins the 50 on the window vault. Mob being able to pop the main building generator down to 1 gen remaining. That was real close. Clarity is playing really well right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it seems like just out mind gaming the mastermind himself, and not really what you want to be seeing if you're Albatross, especially not if you're Izalith right there. But he does catch the final glimpse out through the window. But speaking of, Tamashi recovered pretty well for the amount of time that Clarity bought them.
Yes, this gen setup is way less holdable for Albatross now. No Skirchuk Pain Resonance available either. It is still a loose 3 gen. It is still pretty much around the top side of the map. We have 11, 1, and 3, but definitely much better than having the main generator available as well. Well played to the survivors. That clutch chase by Clarity couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, we're probably going to have a look at seeing the survivors here just play between that 11 and 3 generator to just see how much they can really spread out this kind of mastermind and how much they can actually buy time for one another in terms of that chase. But I'm unsure if Clarity is gonna be ending up seeing the light of day after this, because he really wants him gone as just so he can close this one out. And 1 gen, it's definitely not a lot, but there might be an attempt to get him. No, not quite. I believe there is no survivors yet in terms of just being able to cover out for Clarity. It seems like he's gonna be able to hold him out, unless Mop goes for some crazy play that is unseen, but I don't think he will. He might just get caught here, but he will go for him right now. He has that sort of race period that you can't get him for, but he will just trade places right now. And that's another fresh hook for Albatross.
Yeah, Albatross decides to take the trade, takes his Pain Resonance, able to get 20% gen regression on that last generator that is being worked on. And knowing that Mob was hovering, he also knows which gen Dibus has been working on throughout this time. Does see Clarity on the Shack, knows he's on death hook, and is Albatross going to commit this, risking to lose his last generator?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big gap. You whether focus this and get your guaranteed 3rd kill, yes, or you kind of give up on it and try to go for the gen. But Dibis will look to release Mopk, and it's gonna be another simple trade here. But can he get to a hook to just regress the gen as well? I'm not sure if they not quite. I don't believe that was a white hook right there, and I think the gen's gonna stay on the same progression.
Yeah, there's they did change Pain Resonance quite a while ago, which means it now functions based on a token system, so you only get that regression the first time you get a fresh hooked survivor. But in the 2v1, Albatross is in a really good position, has the eruption available to control his generators, Mob still injured, and Divers trying to stay hidden on this top side, does get found on this very straight loop. Beautiful hack
Oh
tech by
my
Albatross,
lord.
gets the throw onto the tree, and Divers kind of in trouble here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, what a play coming through, and there's just another instant commit coming through, and Dibis. It feels like he could have definitely bought a lot more time, but now it's a matter of question whether they can even get that last gen done.
Oh my god, and Albatross sees Mob with Eruption,
Oh,
completely
that's
styling
not
on
good.
Divers with the hack tech. Beautiful play. This should be a 4K1 now.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'm not sure they can even have a chance at that last generator right now in a 1v1 scenario. And yeah, look at that, he's just beelining towards Muk
Oh
right now.
no!
He gets him instantly. No, he knows it's over. 360 misses it though, but I'm sure it will come to a close end right now. That's a shame. It felt like they had that sort of comeback after such a disastrous start to the round. Felt like, you know, Tamashi could have been able to kind of scavenge a little bit more, but in the end, it was a great round coming up from Albatross.
Oh, misses the dash here. Is Mob gonna get the hatch?
Oh,
He does get the
okay.
hatch, but since not all generators have been completed, this does not count as an escape for the
Yep.
scoreboard. So the result is going to be a 4K at 1 generator remaining, meaning that the win condition for Team Tamashi's killer is going to be a 4K at 2 generators remaining, which is a pretty tall task to do on the Mastermind, who is expected roughly 6 to 8 stages, I would say. So a 4K1, really great result by
Yeah.
Albatross.
I mean, he played that great as well. He knew what traits to take. He knew exactly what sort of hits to take, avoiding the sort of body blocks as well, and just being able to outplay. Well, it's in the word mastermind. Outplay the rest of Tamashi in some sort of way. Clarity bought a lot of time. Earlier on for Tamashi as well, which is quite a good thing to show up and just showcase. It seems like they should have done a bit more. I think that was the sort of stage where they should have done a little bit more around their macro, around their map control as well. But right now, we are just, kind of in the middle here. It's going to be a very tall task for Tamashi, and Izalith might have a bit of an easier time just judging for how much room Albatross actually bought them.
Yes, I really think the decision that broke this game wide open for Albatross was to commit onto the chase, onto focus in the topside area of the map, when he did have a hook in the basement. Team
Yeah.
Tamashi got caught off guard by that, expecting Albatross to play very protective for his basement hook. So the rotation was not in place to get the unhook quickly, and getting it down inside the progress generators onto focus and camping him out on the fast hook really set the tone for the rest of this trial.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the thing is, it's a basement hook still. Regardless, you need to understand that um, it, it, they did play it very well. I will say this: they did play it well in terms of thinking what the mastermind was going to do. But he did outsmart them as well, and he was really playing it patiently in terms of waiting to see who comes along. But then he committed to the chase, which no one absolutely expected. And he took the hook. He took the hook for free. He was managing to get the second fresh hook, which just found himself once more on that regress of gens, and found himself the eruption. I'm not sure if the eruption procced on the second fresh hook, but I know one of the eruptions actually just absolutely threw out the game out the window for Tamashi, and I'm not sure which one specifically, but a wonderful play coming through from Albatross, and hopefully he does manage to kind of just continue this sort of streak for his team if they do manage to go through here and show the same on map 2 eventually.
Yes. Now, what does the killer player for Tamashi have to do here? I honestly think it has to look very similar to what Albatross just did. Just get a quick injury onto the first chase, get a quick down right after, and you're in a good position. But even then, you probably don't have the time to camp out the first survivor. You will have to fish for a second hook, quick chase again, catching the survivors out of position. But with a result like this, I think the survivors for Team Izalith are going to be prepared. They will play it slow, they will only play very safe resources, and they will give Tamashi's killer player a hell of a time trying to get the first down onto them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, considering how fast Albatross was able to get the first down on Tamashi, I mean, there was a trade as well there. It wasn't like a tunnel on only one player. Okay, he also got damage on another player, and he just decided to switch targets. And regardless, he ended up downing them with no issues at all. I believe it was focused to go down first, and yeah, he was just able to kind of play around it. Or maybe it was Kessler. I'm not sure really, 100%. My memories of a goldfish, but in general, that what I'm trying to say is that first down was pretty impressive to get that fast, and yeah, I mean, you just gotta do a better hide and seek, I'd like to say, and kind of just do a bit better with the chases as well. Just make up as much ground as possible. It's kind of hard to do that against Vesker, yes, we know, but you're just gonna have to do your best and just outshine the performance of Albatross, because I don't know how he's gonna do it, but we're gonna just give it. He's gonna give it his best shot, I believe it.
Yes, we're going to have focus on the
Focus,
killer, being able to maybe get some revenge onto Albatross for getting
maybe.
camped to death on the fast hook stage. That never feels good, not even in comp, especially if your team is not able to truly capitalize on all that time that is spent on the hook. So maybe a bit of an ego chase that could await us in this game. I always love to see it.
If at least if you're not playing for the map, you might be as well playing for pride points, for
Yes,
for
of course.
bonus swag points. Just being like, I got the revenge. I don't need anything else. And yeah, some say revenge is bittersweet in this scenario for focus. I believe it's gonna be fully sweet for him if he manages to just luckily, let's say, get Albatross. I don't think he's gonna throw the game to get Albatross first on hook, but I do believe that he's gonna try his best to hopefully just walk onto Albatross first, and then finally find out if they are able to get him first out. But there's gonna definitely be a lot of survivor communication here coming through from Izalith, and they're gonna definitely be looking to kind of work around Vesker's chase prowess, let's call it like that, and kind of try to help each other out during those chases, especially kind of switching targets, switching hits, etc.
Yeah, some altruism plays coming through, maybe some head-on plays. But again, this is a really, really strong win con that Albatross was able to give to his team. So Focus will have to play very aggressive, maybe go for some overly risky plays just to be
Oh
able to
yeah.
tie or potentially play for the win condition. So if you see some quote-unquote desperation plays that are not working out, he has to make something happen. It's a pretty tough
Yeah.
win condition.
I mean, you say Wesker. I mean, you say the mastermind. You say 4 kills. You're definitely thinking, huh? I'm a bit rough, but one way to work around it is just be better, I guess. And Albatross showed us just that. And let's see what Focus can do here.
Yeah, we also can't forget that this was Team Tamashi's pick, which means Focus is going to be
Yeah.
very, very confident on this killer. And we're seeing another set of add-ons coming through yet again as he sees a Krill being disturbed on the edge map. Does he find a survivor out of position? Does find Albatross, but he doesn't give him a free tag right away. Another unsafe pilot on the first chase. Albatross drops it, wins the 50. Will probably take a tag soon though. Power coming through, but Focus barely misses.
Very close indeed. He just manages to avoid it, and yeah, there's the iconic Albatross v Focus matchup. That I'm sure it wasn't staged. It's not staged. It's not scripted. It's not in the script, ladies and gents. But there's the first hit right there, and he does still have. He's gonna give it up. Okay, fair enough. Very smart. Just to start to regress this gen that was almost popped right there. Zimmy is still on one, halfway done already, and yeah, it's definitely gonna be Focus looking for that first down just to get their option off.
Yeah, he does find the gen that two survivors have been stacking together, now focusing his attention back onto Albatross, who made it to the shack, which is a very safe spot for him to be in. Shack pallet comes down immediately. Focus decides to break it, no point in outplaying. Does commit Albatross and does get the down with the second bound. Well played. Eruption coming through, gen interrupted, no pain rest though. Interesting that he
Yeah.
chooses to not get that Scout Shook instead.
He definitely had time to make it. Maybe he was scared of a quick. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe he's rather playing for position on the generator that's already nearly done. But it's not a great area to, cover. You did have that 3 gen in the corner, yeah, but you're just still kind of looking towards the fact that He definitely needed to get the pain rest there.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to just think that the gen was more progressed than it ended up being. So
Yeah.
he was expecting having to take the first available hook rather than getting the pain resonance instead. Or maybe it's a strategical decision to keep it for later in the game. Anyways, first generator pops for Team Izalith. And the unhook is going to come through for free from Brookman. Well played.
I mean, it's already a better start than Tamashi, that is sure to be said, because they're spacing out these generators very well. They have great progression on them, and I don't know, I just can't stop thinking about that initial hook. I mean, did he really have no other choice? I didn't get a great look, but I'm sure he could have made it to one of them. And an insta re-hook will be the reason,
Oh,
but
look at that.
yeah.
Wait,
Wait.
he doesn't go for the pain vest again. I thought he would just hook in the top side regen. I think that would have been a beautiful hook just next to the main building. Maybe he's trying to deny Albatross access to the resources of the top side of the map, wants to keep him bot side so that he will be an easier tunnel out. We do see Wretched Fate, the perk from the Dark Lord that slows down the Obsession's generator speed by 30% in the process of being cleansed by Brokeman. Focus cannot interrupt it in time, and his perk leaves the trial. Does get a tag for it though onto... No, he does
Oh,
not.
no, it
Beautiful
doesn't.
pathing by Brokeman. And is that just gonna be a free unhook? No, he does not want to trade right now. Double pull coming through, beautifully played, value from leader as well. 3 survivors injured, but Albatross does make it to the top side of the map. And this has been 2 generators popping for 2 hook stages onto Albatross. Izalith in a really good position here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, compared to how Tamashi played it, this seems like a way better of an iteration of what they've done previously. And right now, I thought they're in a very good spot with that miss as well. Maybe he gets the pallet. He buys some extra time right here. Albatross, he knows he's gonna be the first one to go down here. Probably he's on death hook. He's definitely there to just buy so much time for his team here as much as possible. Escaping here is futile, but regardless. A dash 1 comes through, dash 2, no angle, played beautifully here by Albatross, but can he get away once more? Yes, he can, buying that extra bit of time, but the double dash, it doesn't seem like it's gonna work out, and it's beautiful movement coming up from Albatross yet again.
Yeah, Albatross even gets the window blocked from the entity, being able to vault it 3 times and chase, beautifully played, dodges another bound, and Focus is struggling here now. The hit tank's coming through as well. Brokeman is taking a free down for Albatross. I'm not sure if that was needed, but...
Yeah, I think Albatross was out.
Eruption as well. Chase onto Zimi. But we definitely saw why Focus did not want to give Albatross access to that very, very strong main building. And yeah, he drops Chase onto Albatross, loses his tunnel out, and goes for the fresh hook onto Focus.
I mean, brilliantly done by Albatross regardless. I'm surprised he's alive. That's the first thing that's popping in my head. How is he alive? He's just gonna creep his way around Shaq here and, just kind of chill. I mean, yeah, there's not much reason to do. You've absolutely kind of cooked in terms of just, evading the killer on death hook. I mean, rarely do you see that happen, but I feel like it should have been a bit of a better job done by Focus. But the thing is, I think he done all he could. I think it was just Albatross being able to outsmart him.
Yeah, really good individual play from Albatross. And Focus, unfortunately, not expecting the unhook to come through that quickly, kind of giving it away for free. Now in a chase with Zimi on this pallet gym, has to break the pallet. Zimi is going to have a great death spot here. Not much you can do, but all that matters is that he bought time and that he dies far away from the generators that are being completed by his teammates. You can see on the hard lap we're about to pop the 4th generator, which would already be the tie, and we have not seen an elimination yet even.
Yeah, that is rough. 1 generator left for alive is a bit of a rough one, especially considering that the person you got downed right now, it's not even stage 2, let alone death hook, so you're really struggling. At least you get pain res now. Yeah, finally you get pain res and you're able to convert it, but a little bit too late, I fear.
Yeah, the survivors are going for the reset on bot side. They definitely are in a great position to make this out with very low stages. Looking like roughly 6 stages. Focus is very close to the reset. Is he going to find the injured survivor? can see
He
them
does
resetting on
farm.
this drop pallet, but I think it is too late. It is not too late.
Wow.
Beautiful down onto Brokeman. Unlucky that heal must have been so close to completion. And maybe this is where Focus can make a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a missed opportunity here from the side of Izalith. I mean, it was a risk, definitely, but I'm not sure how much they needed to take it, especially considering the fact that you're so far ahead. Let's just snowball the rest of it. They decided to risk it a little bit, and yeah, they kind of paid the price here, but it seems like this chase will yield no result here as an uninjured escape from Albatross is ensuing. He is still on Deathhook, do you remember? So he really wants to get this Albatross down, but will he be able to? That's the biggest question.
Albatross gets the stun and the smash
Great
it, buying
smash.
so much more time. Focus does get the injury, and we're back to playing the main building again. The bane of Focus's existence right now. In the distance, we saw a Survivor getting into position to take a hit for Albatross as well, who does evade another dash. Really well played. But yeah, this is basically just coming down to individual chase strength from Albatross. We've seen him pop off in other sets as well. Just such a consistently great Survivor player.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought Clarity would be the best Survivor play we'd see in terms of not player, just play during that first run. But how much time has Albatross bought for his team and not even gotten killed yet? That is surreal. The way he's playing it, he has had a stellar performance in terms of killer and Survivor right now.
Yeah, I guess have a teammate who can do both, right? Zimi is here for the hit tag. Meanwhile, we're seeing Brokeman and Leppy stack the last generator that has to be completed. Albatross now fully infected, slowing down his movement speed by 4%. But he has done enough already. If he dies
Oh,
now,
yeah.
he put the team on his back. This pallet is still not broken. Focus unfortunately messes up his second dash there. The adrenaline onto Zimi coming through as well, adding insult to injury. Not getting it down, but on the attack here, and we already see Brokeman on the gates. This is going to be one up for Izalith, securing a first point in the semifinals.
Surely you at least get Albatross for those, like, pride points. There's no way he manages to escape. He just might, though. There just might be a way, but there is some extra time. We all know the perk we all hate in DBD, and since you have that one, you're just wondering whether you're able to get away in time. First time I faced this perk, I was very confused on what the hell is going on, but in this scenario, for anyone who doesn't know, I believe it's 90 seconds or 60 seconds that the gate gets blocked off of release of the gates, and that gives the killer some extra time. Correct me if I'm wrong, Emmy, in terms of the timing, but I'm not sure how much time he will manage to get from it.
No, unfortunately, Blood Warden is not in play here.
Ah, it's not Blood Warden, fair
This
enough.
corrupt intervention that you were talking about.
No, he
But
got Albatross.
he did get the grudge match, got the elimination onto Albatross, but Albatross is going to be very happy with that.
Oh yeah, definitely, and as you said, between 4 to 6 in terms of stages, and kind of on point, kind of very much on point there, Emmy, and yeah, that's kind of a average, you'd say. I'd say a bit below par, but the thing is, you played against Izalith. We've seen what Albatross was able to pull out, and yeah, full remarks coming through for Izalith. I mean, the only points they've lost in terms of just, you know, not being able to flawless it was losing out the 4 gens initially. But absolutely beautiful game coming out from Izalith, and a very well-deserved win for map 1. But it wasn't their pick. That's what just surprised me in terms of the killer, and I thought Focus would do a bit of a better job on the killer. It felt like Albatross was the one that picked the killer in terms of just being able to be comfortable on him.
Yeah, and on the Survivor play, we definitely saw Izalith working as a well-oiled machine, while Tamashi was struggling a tiny bit. They messed up the body blocks twice, giving away some downs for free there that could have been prevented. So maybe they just needed this warm-up game, and they're going to show us what they're made of in the Trickster set. But so far, just a stellar performance by Izalith.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Focus back-to-back killers. You know, sometimes it gives you that sort of, you know, first game was warm up. Now I go straight back into being a killer. Focus, as we know, we do a little bit of a swap around, and it will be definitely some sort of It's gonna be interesting to see him play Trickster because it's a huge variable compared to the Mastermind. You know, sometimes you specialize in one type of killer, whether it's heavy chase plus dashes or whether it's throwables. It depends. It depends how skilled you are at everything. And right now, Focus is gonna be able to show this to us. I believe it was Izalith that picked the killer for map 2, which does mean that I'm very interested to see what Albatross has cooked up in terms of just those machine gun knives. They're ready for us and awaiting in the second part of the map 2. But
I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Valdez on the Trickster for Izalith, and now just focus on the Trickster for Tamashi. I was reading the team chats, and Valdez seemed
Oh.
very happy when Trickster didn't get banned and he was able to snatch it away. Very
Oh.
much looking forward to that. We've seen Albatross put on a clinic, though, on the Survivor side against Trickster the last time we saw him play that matchup. So that is going to be really fun to watch if Focus decides to go for Albatross again. And I'm wondering a bit. We saw both Focus and Albatross using the Unicorn Medallion, which is not a super common add-on for Wesker to run. So curious if that helped Albatross eke out a tiny bit of an advantage during the chases, just knowing the exact limits of the killer with that specific add-on.
Yeah, because evening out the dashes, it can let you stabilize kind of. It's not like forcing you to play around the first one being shorter, longer, second one being shorter, longer. It's kind of giving you that balance that you kind of want if you're not familiar with the limits of the first two dashes. Basically, it's kind of like a I want to say newbie friendly, but it's very like, methodically good for any sort of killer that wants to plan his sort of dashes. And I definitely think it did have a lot of impact in terms of just, being able to find himself with some of those dashes. There was some beautiful plays he pulled out during some of those chases. I'm not sure who he downed, but I don't think the pallet was even dropped during that one of those chases where he was just able to get a super quick double dash and down the second to last player, I believe, from Tamashi. But here we go. New round, new killer, less about the mastermind, more about the trickster. Let's see those knives fly.
Let's see those knives. We see a very similar park build coming through again, exchanging Eruption for Agitation to be able to hook in that basement that is always guaranteed to be in the middle of the map on Wrecker's Yard. We see the Memento Blades for 10% faster throwing rates, and the Tequila, which is going to allow us an increased duration of the main event. Focus finding his first chase, and look who it is! It is Albatross again.
I mean, grudge match or not, it's just kind of iconic right now. There's one more knife left right now. Can he look to seal it off? Yes, he can. There we go. There's a first initial hit and a much better start, I'd like to say, from Focus. Oh no, there's another.
Just one knife away from going down. Flash, the Cracker comes through, but Albatross does not drop the pallet, does not lock himself in the animation, does go down to a couple more precise knives from Focus though. Pretty quick first down. Albatross caught out on a tile where he only had windows to play, no pallet, and as expected, this first hook is going straight into the basement. The Trickster just so good at camping as a hooked survivor.
Oh yeah, especially, I mean, with the range that he has with those knives. Sometimes you'd think, oh, he needs to hit 7 knives. Damn, that's just, that's hard. Nah, Trickster. He's very fast with throwing those knives, and if you're not careful with your pathing, especially considering this sort of map, you're gonna have a very hard time avoiding them.
Yeah, the biggest thing to look out for, the biggest mind game in chases with Trickster is the survivor going to lock themselves into an animation by either dropping a pallet or by vaulting a window? Because if you do that, you're gonna take so many knives that you cannot dodge. And it's always a bit of a mind game. Is the survivor going to greet the pallet? Are they going to drop it? Are they going to vacuum it? And so far, Focus has been doing a very good job at securing the first down. Now, as expected, some very defensive play around this basement. We see his Wretched Fate totem being in the close proximity to it as well, being able to camp this without any repercussions, knowing that the gen speed won't be as fast as it might usually be. Great position for Focus to be in, but our survivors are not concerned. That is work in their generators, no pressure on them right now.
Especially there's the hook, unhook potential right here. Brokeman gonna be able to get Albatross off, maybe even able to tank a hit. I don't know how long the grace period is off of getting unhooked. I believe it's 4, maybe even 7 seconds, but there's just a knife parade coming through. He does get one and a few tags on Albatross, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know how much the grace period is. I believe it's 4 to 7 seconds off of unhook.
You have a 15-second window where you get endurance after getting hit, after getting just freshly unhooked. And there was actually a really cute play coming through there. Levy being the life survivor and Albatross just pre-dropping the shack pellet for him. He does go down and he's going to be eliminated with 3, maybe 2 gens remaining as the Scourge Pain Resonance comes through.
Okay, I don't want to say that he was targeted, but hooked on the first map, hooked on the second map, death hooked immediately. I don't know. I know it's a strat, but running into the same person over and over again, I think Focus is very, very happy that he was able to get Albatross out first because of the amount of trouble he was able to cause previous match.
Yes, and it is great confidence to be like, hey, I know this guy may have ran me last round. I'm gonna focus him regardless. I know I can do this. Now, Focus does get the down onto Levy, was caught out injured on this tile. He is going to repeat the basement hook most likely, or electing to go instead for another Pain Resonance.
Pain Reza would be good, yeah. I was gonna say, but like, one more gen, the gen progression they did is amazing.
Yeah, and it is very fortunate for Focus that Albatross was not the obsession, because this Wretched Fate totem is going to be slowing down Brokeman's gen speed by a very large amount, definitely a considerate amount. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling across my words right now.
That's okay, you're new to DBD.
Thank you, you've got me covered.
Yeah, obviously.
Focus just looking for the unhooker, trying to maybe find someone inside the hooker, but he's so close to Brokeman. He had the right idea, really wants to make sure that Brokeman does not get this unhook for free. Does now commit to the gen that Zimi has been sitting on, sees him off in the distance, but the unhook onto Levy comes through without any injuries or trades whatsoever. Great play by the survivors.
Oh yeah, there's a few fair knives coming through right here. Brokeman getting off the heel onto Levy, but can Zimi get away from here unscathed? Not quite, I don't believe so. Trickster doesn't give up a chase that easily, especially when you have so many knives within ya. And now there's a beautiful snipe right there between the rocks, and there might be another few coming through. There's just so much ground to make, but the thing is, you can't really make ground against Trickster in an open field, and you really need to use this cover as much as you can, but there it goes. There's the main event, and right now, it's getting a bit dicey here, I'd like to say, for Izalith, but the thing is, they have that gen nearly done as well. Pain Res might look to stave it away for a little bit, but for how long?
Yeah, Focus was very confident in committing to that chase because he knew that the gen that Zimi was working on was the only progress that the survivors had on the entire map. So committing to that, pretty risk-free, even though the unhook came through without a trade. Sees Levy in the distance, lithing away. Another pretty uncontested unhook coming through from the survivors. And Focus is looking for where the unhooked survivors went to. So far, he does not seem to have a trace of them. Levy healing up Zimi, Brokeman retaking a gen, and Focus is just kind of standing here with nothing in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great start for him, I will say. Getting Albatross down early, getting 2 stages on him, and it seems like the survivors, it was the same position Tamashi found themselves in the first one, but it seems like they just played it better considering their situation. They had the same situation that Tamashi had in the first one, but Izalith just played it better as survivors, I'd hate to say it, and prioritized those gens over the unhook, and then put the unhook anyway.
Now in chase with Brokeman, unfortunately a couple of knives missing, the laceration decreasing already, meaning that the knife progress has been reset. Main event available, Brokeman out in the open, and this should be a pretty easy down. Well played by Focus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, opting to go for the main event rather than the hit. Very smart, not giving you that sort of burst of acceleration early on. And you're just kind of, being able to get yourself that sort of balance in between not needing to prolong the chase and kind of utilizing the main event and then getting a recharge for the next one early on.
Yeah, but while Brokeman was being chased on his active gen, our survivors were not doing nothing. They started a new gen and were able to pop it just in time. Brokeman still on the hook, and both Zimi and Leppy in this part of the map. Focus knowing that he needs to reload, having the door right here. Does he expect Leppy to still be around? He does catch a glimpse of him there. And everybody being worth equal hook stages right now. It does not matter who Focus commits to. He just has to get it down onto someone to get a bit of a better result here.
Oh yeah, definitely, as many as possible. As we know, DBD, point system, all about tiebreakers in terms of just, depending on what some killers' limits are, but you want to get as much as you can even before the game is over. Even if you know that it's going to be an escape, you need to get the best result possible right here, and Zimi will be getting down, but how much more can Focus provide? That's the main question, that's the main idea here, and door already nearly open. He ignores the down and he's going straight for it, maybe even looking to get that initial no. Goes back to the body, gets Zimi up, and probably puts him in the closest hook possible.
Yeah, puts him in the basement. Decides to go for the safest hook. No.
Oh yeah, pain res, because that would help the situation.
He's just giving the survivors the option. Hey, why don't you want to unhook from this? Look, I'm not hooking in basement.
Yeah.
I'm making the unhook for you real easy. You've got this. But the survivors don't take the bait. They take 2 stages out of the door. Or 4 stages out of the door. Making this 8 stages for Fresh for Team Tamashi. Pretty respectable result.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I was wondering though whether he would not immediately pick up the survivor, because we obviously know that it's much more of a hassle to heal up a down survivor than actually go. I'm not sure how far the gate was from the actual down body, but I felt like at that stage you might have wanted to commit a bit more, because it's not the greatest result in terms of Trickster, because you got the good map for Trickster. You were maybe looking to maybe get 10 stages, etc., but just sadly not being able to, and it's turn for Izalith to get on the killing part of the machine and to just see how Tamashi works around it. But it started off very well for Focus. I felt like it didn't go well. I feel like it was a good sandwich. It started very well, like the bread was really solid, but it just during the middle, it was just like, sort of back and forth as well. Some of the pain reses not getting popped is just very interesting to me. He had so many opportunities to get those pain resonances off, but he just decided not to. I don't know why. I don't know what was the thought behind it. I understand the first basement hook. I don't understand the other follow-ups.
I'm pretty sure that he did take all pain res hooks that were available. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is just, in the grand scheme of things, 20% gen regression can be outworked by 2 survivors working the gen in basically no time. And with Trickster being a very low mobility killer, he just struggles. He needs to cross the entire map, make it to the generator after hooking another survivor. Survivor gets unhooked. You can't find the survivors that were working the generator right away. And you're just basically ping-ponging back and forth, trying to get anything. And the survivors are aware of your limitations, so they're going to be pre-running you. They don't give away those early tags for free. And they just played it beautifully. Yeah, as expected. It's going to be Valdez on the Trickster. This is going to be a treat.
Yeah, 100%. And he was very excited. Let's see why, though. That's the biggest question. Let's see why. I'm definitely interested to see how much he can get under his belt, especially considering that we haven't seen him in the first game. But definitely a bit of swap around. Just play to your strengths in general if you're in the DBT team. And, you got some survivors focusing some killers, some focusing others, some just being a forceful killer no matter what the killer is. But I'm interested to see what he cooked up. Why was he so excited? What sort of aimbot does this man possess? That's what we're going to see here right now in map 2.
Yeah, I think the last time he was competing against Winter Edit's Trickster, and he got 4K3 against their team. And that is why he's feeling confident picking this killer. He was so impressive with his accuracy and knowing the exact limits of his killer. So this is going to be very fun to watch. I also like that Dibus changed the fit a bit. I like this one a lot. Looking very good on the Yunjin. Rocking the new Hellfire Club t-shirt.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. I like that you can express yourself regardless of what perks you want. You're able to just flex your favorite characters in the game and just, it's not all about, oh, let's play Sable because she has the best sort of, escape sort of abilities and stuff like that. No, you can pick whoever you want. You can get the best abilities off of, you can get the best of both worlds. You can get the perks and you can get the skin you want, But at this scenario, let's go finally. We will be getting ourselves that map number 2 on the way, and I'm very interested how well he starts off, because I will be honest, Focus had a great start, knocking down Albatross in what felt like a 20-25 second chase. It didn't feel like there was much gap between the first 2 hits, and let's see if Valdez can replicate. Maybe he doesn't need to replicate, but just kind of balance it out. Let's see how much map he can cover with the low mobility that he has.
Yes, of course, at the very high end against the very strongest killers, there's going to be some min-maxing on the survivor that you pick, just because of how visible their cosmetics are, how loud their injury sounds are. But against the trickster, where you expect it to just get into chase and be able to last a bit, those do not matter quite as much. And we see the memento blades coming through again, as well as the shoes. And those shoes increase your movement speed while you're holding a knife. So it makes you able to get a hit that you would otherwise not get just around the corner. Just a really beloved trickster main add-on, I would call it. We find Chase onto Clarity. He does have a strong filler to play here. Oh no, loses to 50 and does tank a couple of knives there. The first injury coming through. The accuracy from Valdez, very good. Clarity has another strong tile to play. This time he's holding the check spot perfectly. Trying to force the break out of Valdez, but Valdez does end up breaking. Clarity makes a lot of distance. Pretty good first chase so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he might just go down here. Final life remaining. He does get some ground between it, but it feels like it's a bit too late. No time for a pallet or anything, and that's what I love about Trickster. When you play against a Trickster, you need to play pallets way differently than you would usually do against any other killer. Well,
Wow.
a non-ranged killer, and maybe even a snipe from across the map here. He only needs 2 or 3 knives. It's regressing, and Clarity got away barely on its last legs, but it might be a simple hit right now for Valdez to close this one out. Maybe even a simple hit. Yes, it will be. And Clarity goes down, only 1 gen and a half to show for here for Tamashi.
Clarity with some beautiful pathing, just completely skipping the tile and leaving Valdez scratching his head, looking for his injured survivor, who is only 1 knife away from going down. The first gen has already popped. Pain Resonance coming through. It's being called out by the hooked survivor, so that Focus lets go and doesn't scream. Really beautiful first chase by Clarity. Great death spot. And Valdez will have to step it up now. Definitely not in a position where he can just comfortably camp Clarity to death or second stage. He needs to start a new chase, and he needs to start it soon.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but, I love to see the way that the survivors are working. It feels like Tamashi are playing this way better than opposed to what they did in the first map, because they did get caught out by that Albatross tunnel chase in the second one after the hook. And now it's a bit of a rough chase here for Dibes. She needs to look to get away from this, otherwise it might be a bit too late. A second down might not be too bad considering you got the trade for Clarity, and ideally you don't want to find yourself on the back foot here, but it's a great chase coming out from Dibes so far.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing the difference that it makes when you actually have a tile to play that has a bit of distance, that has some walls, where you're not forced to play windows like Albatross was during his first chase.
Oh yeah.
As the down does come through onto Dibus. But our survivors are working 3 different gens, great pressure coming through from them, and Valdez has to be feeling this pressure. He does have the agitation, but just the speed, or... Well, the chases have been too long for him to be able to comfortably hook in the basement. He just needs to get his regression. He needs to make Something happened, needs to find a new chase, can't just idly sit around and wait for the second stage to hit. And the survivors know, pre-leaving the gen early. But Valdez is trying to proxy camp a bit, trying to find the unhooker, maybe trying to catch someone out of position. But Tamashi have locked in on the survivor side now. They're
Oh
not giving
yeah.
him any room.
Map 3 might be looking likely the way they're playing this, and they know they need to play for bodies because they had 2 escapes on the side of Izalith, and you're definitely looking to outshine that as much as you can. That's a great pallet play coming through as well, waiting for the depossessive knives here from the Trickster, and now you're just looking to see. I'm not sure how much he has left in the chamber here, Trickster, in terms of the amount of knives. 39, okay, plenty to work with, just not utilized to perfection.
Wow, they're letting Dibus hit second stage here because they are confident in their ability to crank out this last generator and still get the stages out of the gate that are required for them. We see Focus starting a new game, new generator, while Mob does get the unhook, Clarity and Chase. Valdez has to drop it. Maybe now not the time to go for Tunnel Out. He decides to go for another fresh hook, getting those stacks onto No Way Out and Pain Resonance. Main event being used.
Oh, does he use it enough though? Not even the down yet. It's taking a bit of time, and he does manage to get away. I believe that's the first time today we've seen someone get away from a main event.
Well, it's actually the second time because it happened to Valdez just earlier in the first chase with Clarity on the bus. So I was talking big game for Valdez Trickster. These survivors are just in his head right now. And the last gen is so close to popping with the second one as a backup right there.
I mean, I definitely feel like they swapped picks and bans. Did we get given the wrong list? Was it Focus that picked the Trickster? I'm not so sure right now, but only 1 gen remaining. No one currently dead. No death hooks available. Actually, 1 death hook available. I just purely lied for the funsies. Dalvis is the available chase, but look at that. Gates already popped, and now it's danger. I think they're gonna send 1 to just secure the unhook, just because they know that he's gonna camp the exits and try to get 1 more because he has to. That's his win condition. There's no other way around it.
Valdez did have 1 last trick in his inventory, with No Way Out being activated, preventing the survivors from opening the exit gate for 60 seconds with 3 stacks, and he does find the chase onto Dibus, who, well, you can see it in a positive or a negative way. Dibus is dead on hook and can just get eliminated from the trial, but Dibus is also worth only 1 hook stage, so Valdez needs to find Focus and eliminate him for the tie, which is going to be quite the tall task for him.
Yeah, easier said than done, definitely at this stage, considering that they're gonna do everything in their power to avoid it. They know that as well. Well, I'm sure they've been keeping track at this stage. You want to keep track. Gate almost open, but the knives are coming in, and some of them miss. They do tank for him just so they can open the escape right now. Clarity knows he needs to get out. Does he though? Not quite. Main event just banishing him from getting out there. Does he get picked up in time? Not quite. He gets away, and it's all up to this now. Mupk, I don't believe it's gonna be enough regardless.
Yeah, Mupk escapes through the hatch, and Tamashi is able to tie the series 1-1. Really impressive survivor play.
Oh yeah, 100% now. I don't want to say I'm disappointed. It seemed like it was rather the proficiency of the survivors that outplayed the Trickster rather than the Trickster himself.
Yes, like I said, I know Valdez is a great Trickster player, but especially the pathing from Clarity on his chase around the bus just bought so much extra time. Valdez just completely caught off guard by that. And not expected this to go all the way after we saw Arbitra's strong performance on the set that was Tamashi's pick. But I'm always happy to make it to the tiebreaker, because whenever I'm casting, I always go the full length, which is very fun. There's always a tiebreaker involved, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Definitely. It felt like this was gonna be a bit of a one-sided affair, considering the let's just say the way both of these teams got here. one of them took down the number one seed, the other, just casually walked their way through as favorites in the previous matchup. So it definitely was written to be a close one because it's a semi-final. Obviously, I mean, we enjoy a good semi-final,
Yes.
but the thing is, it felt like Izalith was caught lacking a little bit there in the second game. I'm not sure in which way. Was it the survivor side? Was it the trickster side? It felt like Tamashi just kind of locked in for that second survivor game.
Yeah, it felt like the mastermind game was a bit of a wake-up call, being like, guys, what are we doing? We know how to tank a body block. Why are we not doing this? Let's show what we've got in the trickster set. Let's make it happen. And they did. They had some really great individual chases, great coordination on the jam proppers, just reading what Valdez was going to do next perfectly, knowing the pressure that they had, and just playing accordingly.
Rafe, plenty of
Wraith,
things.
Dead Dog Saloon.
Plenty of things to talk about. I mean, not really in terms of being that sort of. It's like a type of spirit, For new players, it's gonna be like, I've never touched this character. What is it? I mean, I know, it's an OG character, obviously. But it just feels like Wraith is like maybe the better version if you're able to track down the survivors well enough, but a bit of an OG style, a bit of a favorite for some of the old viewers, but definitely a bit of a treat for us. Haven't seen a Wraith play in a while in terms of competitive here, so might just be me, but latest vids I've seen from somewhere, haven't seen Wraith in a while.
Oh, you're in for a treat for sure.
Oh yeah.
The race set is very much about the restrictions that are being placed on the survivors, Wraith being a very low tier killer, so survivors don't get as many perks as they would in other sets. So they have to use what little they have available to make the best out of a dire situation, going for good hit tanks, strong individual chases, altruistic plays. Those low tier killer sets are always so fun to watch because both teams have to work overtime to get a good result. The killer has to get fast chases without having a very strong chase power, play for slugging a whole bunch just to get pressure on the map, and the survivors have to just be locked in, pop off and chase, help their teammates out, be aware of the position of the Wraith, call out the position so that nobody gets caught off guard. It is such a fun and well-rounded set that it's always fun to watch, no matter who's playing.
Yeah, definitely. What a treat we are getting for a semi-final, I don't want to even talk about the grand final, what you guys will be seeing over there, but I will just say, I mean, it's so far been an absolute show, and I'm just interested in some of the plays, because it's not really a conventional outplay maneuver in terms of mechanics. It's more of the mind that works with the side of Wraith right now, and I'm just wondering, which mastermind. Huh? No, okay, never mind. I will never do that again. I apologize. Which mastermind will just look to outplay one another, and they will be Albatross starting us off here on Wraith. So very interesting to see big things from him coming through. He is usually a kind of a, let's say, he kind of likes his mobile killers a lot more because we've seen his mechanics. We've seen what he can do. But let's see what he can do with a bit more of a macro killer. That sort of, mind killer. Let's just say mind killer. Why not? Why not? Just that
I
sort
like
of
it.
mental, those sort of outplays, and it's definitely gonna rely on those outplays to kind of get these downs. We're expecting at least 8 stages from Albatross. Come on, I'm calling it 8 stages at least.
Oh, okay.
He has to. I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I definitely will say it's gonna be hard, but I believe in him.
Yes. I mean, from what we've seen so far, you're definitely right to believe in Albatross. Oh, damn. I didn't know Eddie would pull out the guitar in the lobby animation. That's sick.
I mean, he just felt that he also gives us a bit of a bow, just thank us for listening to it. But yeah, okay, finally, everyone's ready. We are ready. I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, are the final map of the first semi-final starting off right now, and it will be a brilliant performance from both teams, I'm sure of it, because it seems like Tamashi needed the 1 second to warm up. Izalith, we know how good they are. We know what they can show us. Let's see what happens here.
Yes, I'm very excited to see Albatross on an M1 focused killer, with the killers that I've previously seen for him being mostly mechanical M2 killers like Blight, like Wesker. So a very different setting for him, but him playing these, like all of these killers, shows that he's super confident and it's going to be a treat. As you said, Tamashi has woken up. So yeah, everybody logged in. It's going to be a good game. Also, shout out to Dibus for bringing 3 different outfits in 3 different trials. I love that stuff.
It depends on the map, you know, it depends on the weather, you know, that type of guy, you know. Fashion follows the weather. Well, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. It's showing a bit of expression, and you obviously want to have that in a player, personality, and don't think you've
Yes.
gone unnoticed right there. And there is the first uncloak we see of the game, and there is the first hit off of it right away. Great play, great timing, knowing when to uncloak, knowing that the pallet is not close enough to be able to cover off the escape, and now we're just waiting to see how Albatross is gonna play this one out.
Yeah, Albatross double vaulting the shack window with Bamboozle. Dibus knows that this area of the map is corrupted by corrupt intervention, loops back to the shack pallet, is able to drop it, and probably just takes the chase over to the water tower to, yeah, find their first down over there in a good position, far away from all of the generators. Now playing a bit of a distance holder beautifully. Albatross trying to cut them off. Great patience, not falling for the mind game. Pallet comes through and the stun.
Oh boy. Does get
Yeah,
the break.
Well, the first tag came through very quickly. Dibus is actually giving us a really good fast chase here. On this Ormond tile, drop pallet, this is a bit of a 50. And Dibus loses it! Vaults into the killer. It's gonna happen, guys.
Yeah,
Sometimes it happens.
It's a
So
50
it
for a
looks bit
reason.
Goofy. Exactly.
You flip a coin, you lose it. Great first chase though, regardless from Diabetes, because he was able to buy a lot of time, already popping a gen. But, you know, you kind of need that sloppy butcher as well on the Wraith, because he's not as mobile of a killer in terms of the chase, because of the uncloak slowing you down. You are mobile during being cloaked, you're also a decently fast killer, but you also need to take the time to cloak, uncloak, etc. And you can see those just sort of phases in and out. You're almost looking at some sort of, you know, phase shifting coming in from him. And hopefully he manages to get another right here. Maybe he just gets Dives back on the hook. He doesn't go for the uncloak fully. He's playing this to perfection, just being able to wait for the perfect moment. He played it perfectly, but that's a great setup coming through from Tamashi to pull off the stun on him.
Beautiful head-on from Focus. This main building is one of the most studied pieces of architecture in all of DBD. This is why it's so fun to watch these top-tier teams go at it on this part of the map, because they know exactly which vaults they can take, how to outplay every situation, how to set up the head-on for the teamwork. Chase on the toilet pallet. Can Dibus buy even more time for the team? Wins a 50, loses another one. Vault not coming through, and they're going to go down at the edge of the map again, dying far away from all the generators. The team is healthy, ready to put more pressure onto our killer. Albatross forced to hook towards the middle of the map a bit to interrupt this generator that Focus was working on. Third gen of the trial coming through. Death hook onto Dibus. It's looking pretty good for the Tamashi survivors.
I will say that first chase took a long time. The second one even longer. It was beautifully played by Diabetes and alongside his squad as well. I mean, that stun coming out as a head-on, I mean, it was just beautiful coming through. And you can see the coordination from Tamashi just thriving in this matchup here.
Yeah, very important to notice. Albatross does not have a 3-gen to play here. The Gallows 3-gen did not spawn. The survivors broke the generator on the bot side of the map very well, as Focus does get a body blocked here, runs into a bit of a locker, takes a tag, but the unlock onto Dibus should come through any moment now. Albatross able to make it back to the hook to potentially prevent it. Does that mean that the survivors have one more generator ready to pop? It's at about 60% as Mob is making their way across the map, playing for the trade. Focus going to stack the generator with clarity in the distance. And it's a free unhook. That is so uncharacteristic for Albatross. But his game sense tells him immediately, hey, they're working the gen at the desert. I'm making the perfect call. I interrupt them before it pops, and I hook on the highest progressed generator. Really good game sense for Albatross. That's the mind killer that you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it was a high-risk play as well. Let's be real here. Who goes for that? What type of lunatic do you need to be to go for it? And it does pay off for him. Luckily enough, great hit onto Clarity as well. But they will get the unhook onto Focus right here. So much time, so much room gained. They opt not to go for it, if I'm not realized right now. But the last gen will get popped, and it's a dire situation here for our boy Albatross.
Albatross is in chase with Clarity right now, though Clarity represents a fresh survivor, so the most possible stages for Albatross to gain. Uncloaks on this pretty unsafe pallet. Clarity loops back to the main pallet, places down a camp trap, and has hope. So a 5% haste boost during the end game, which is going to be very, very relevant in this final chase of the game. And the gate is open, and Clarity is just out.
Wow.
Yeah, Albatross was not expecting that. Our survivors definitely stepping up their game, pushing it into the next gear here, just having the gate open, fresh survivor out, being reset. Now they're trying to help Focus make it out of the gate as well. And Albatross is not looking in the right spot. This is going to be 3 stages too fresh for Team Tamashi.
They got 4 alive out. I mean, that's not what I expected. I take everything back for saying 8 stages. Albatross not being able to deliver on that department, and what a game from Tamashi.
Just an absolute clinic from the survivors. I was not expecting them to be that on point with the gen pressure. They just immediately started doubling another gen after the unhook came through. And Albatross, while making a great heads-up play, interrupting the 90% gen in the desert area, not able to interrupt the next one.
Yeah, I mean, and before the first down even happened, I believe there was like 3 or 4 gens done already. So the gen pressure was quite surreal coming out from Tamashi, and they played it to perfection. They played the map to perfection. They were able to spread out their generators, not give Albatross the hooks he wanted. I don't know if he procced a single. Wait, he did proc. He did proc one at the latest start during the desert chase. He did proc one. And only one regress for that generator, which is a bit surprising. It's so surprising, actually. You didn't get that many downs, so it was really rough. It feels like it was just Wraith not being able to accommodate for the amount of pressure that Tamashi put on.
Yeah, they just didn't give him any opportunities. They played it safe. They put on the gen pressure when they could. They reset properly. They played the altruism beautifully, and were just able to make those chases last and in positions where they were not interrupting any gens either. So just really good macro play by the survivors. And again, I do want to compliment Albatross on his macro play too. But in the end, he just got ran around the map and got left with 3 stages. That is such a good win condition for Team Tamashi. This has to be a flawless game from the Izalith survivor side.
The Sloppy Butcher didn't even come that in handy. I mean, you're supposed to thrive, obviously, from those prolonged chases and hopefully, gain enough time for the Sloppy Butcher to come into effect. But it just didn't feel like it. The tunnel vision was a bit too strong, I fear, and I believe it was I'm not sure who it was. I believe it was Dipsy? I'm not really sure. Yeah, I believe it was Dibus that just bought so much time.
Absolutely.
For the first chase, and it was just clinical. They broke his ankles. They put him in a hospital in a wheelchair and just sent him off. They just were able to just all 4 of them just spring out alive with a 2-3 result. It's a bit harsh, I will say, and it's gonna be a hell of a result needed from Izalith to stay alive in this tournament.
Yeah, there's going to be no pressure at all onto the killer from Team Tamashi. They can lean back, they can play it like pubs, they can take every hook they want, but at the same time, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. So don't take it too easily. We know that Team Izalith is going to throw everything they have at Clarity, who is going to be playing the Wraith for Tamashi, just to stay in this game, to not give away any hook stages. We're going to see so much altruism. Expect a lot of head-on, a lot of flashlight plays, cracker plays, anything to keep this Wraith from hooking the survivors.
The amount of camping that's gonna happen on the first kill is gonna be surreal, because we know how easy the win condition right now is, and you just know that Wraith is not gonna move anywhere. He might eventually, not even cloak himself just to sit there in front of the hook and be like, "Yo, what's?" I mean, obviously not for the full time, because we all know about the the unhook, but the term is that whoever gets on the hook, he's not making it alive. I'm sorry to say. I doubt they're going to make it alive, whoever gets first on, because that's instantly 3 stages done, and you're not looking. You just need one more fresh hook and you're done, basically.
Yeah,
So
I think
it's a hard task.
I think the strategy for Clarity is going to be get the hook onto the first survivor, camp them to second stage, go for a fresh hook, camp that person to second stage. Survivors can't trade hooks anymore, and then you basically have your win condition secured right there. Since
Well,
you only need 4
actually,
stages.
yeah. Yeah, you just get the first person to second stage, and then you just kill off the second person fully, and you've won. That's it. That's all the stages you need, I believe.
Easier said than done. These
Yeah,
are some very
true.
high level survivors.
True, on the Wraith as well, but considering that Izalith was able to get 2 fresh hooks. If you can get 2 fresh hooks, just camp the second one and you're done.
Yeah, and even if they try to go for a trade, the person that gives up another stage as the trade is going to give the win condition regardless.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Mission Impossible.
all of the cards are in Team Tamashi's hand right now. It is up to Izalith to show us some truly spectacular survivor play to make it out of this one.
I mean, this
to
might be
advance
better.
to the grand finals.
If they win, this might be better than the grand final itself. Because the task that's up ahead of them, I don't even know. I'm new to this, and even I know how insane it would be for them to pull this off. It's just absolutely surreal. And immediately, we're going to look for an instant chase, obviously. I mean, it's the start of every single game, and you're looking to just do a bit of renovating throughout that shack building, and maybe even an early chase here. Does he spawn down? No, not quite. Maybe though, I'm unsure.
We see a different build from Clarity coming through as he finds Albatross as his first target. Albatross taking a tag on this relatively unsafe pallet, being caught out stealthing. And we do see Thrill of the Hunt, Ruin, and Crowd Control coming through. Oh, there is the first head-on of the game. We might be seeing more of those. Gets the long stun onto the Cloaked Wraith as well. Really well played. Albatross expecting the crowd control. Slow vaulting the window so that it won't get blocked. Now body blocking the Wraith so that he can't take pallet control. He chains it beautifully. Oh my god!
Loses the 50.
Clarity is a tank. Just walks through it. And that is the first stage. Unless we can't get the flashlight save. Nice try by Letby. But it just doesn't work, it's not enough, and this is already putting our survivor team on the back foot. This is making this win condition so hard.
He paid the bluff so easily, he didn't even care, he didn't even flinch. He just went for, yeah. I mean, he has nothing to lose, it's everything in his favor, he just has the the survivors need to manage these pallets so well. They need to keep them alive, and he's just using that fact, and that's that mind game coming into play right now, and it's just an amazing showing for the start of Tamashi here. Oh no.
Letby unfortunately loses the 50 on the super unsafe pallet. Does make it back to the shack pallet though. Is Clarity going to commit this, or is he going to go back onto the injured Albatross who is working a general? Oh my god, he's not respecting anything! He's just trying to swing through everything. Yeah. He knows that these survivors need to buy some extra time, and he's not giving them any of that. Now we do know that Letby is the head-on player himself, so no head-on about to come through for the survivor side. He misses the fast vault and goes down, but we have Brokeman in position to potentially go for a cracker play.
Oh, he gets it off. He gets it off beautifully as well.
Oh. This is what we need to see, and we're seeing it from Team Izalith. They know what they need to do, and they're trying their hardest to get it done.
But they have invested so many resources already. They are lacking so many crucial pallets. They're lacking already a firecracker, a decent amount of flashlight. Yeah, I mean, you just have to at that stage, but good positioning at least just to secure him not getting off. Does he get the pallet off?
And the can doesn't show up for Zimi. That's so rough. They've done so well, but with this much altruistic play, there are no gens ready to pop. And this window is still blocked from crowd control. Zimi has nowhere to go. And Zimi represents the win condition here.
Yeah, 100%. If he doesn't get it, that's it.
Yeah, that
has to be it.
3 stages, 3 fresh. That's the win condition for Clarity. Really well played. Knew exactly what he had to do. And pulled it off.
I mean, beautifully played. It was just simple. It looked simple. And Tamashi make it through.
Yeah. sometimes even when you have a simple win condition, you're like, okay, I've got to do this easy. But you get in your own head, you overcomplicate things. Not Clarity. He walks through the pallet, gets the first down, gets the second down, makes it look easy with this pretty generous win condition. Well played by Albatross. Does get the vault before Clarity is able to get a tag. But this game is already over. The Survivors are just playing for the best result here. Brokeman getting the unhook onto Simi. And Clarity is happy to go for the tunnel out onto Hinato here.
I mean, he knows it's over, I believe. I believe he knew the win condition.
Yes.
His teammates are probably telling him already if they are in VC currently.
Oh, that's cheering.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And yeah, they definitely know the grand finals is locked in, but it looks so simple. It looks, I mean, Clarity just clear of mind, and as its name states, you know, simple. It looks very simple, and he did execute to perfection.
Yeah, we're seeing a beautiful chase from Brokeman here, winning 250s on the pallet. Clarity swinging into it. Totem slowly being cleansed, but it is too late into the trial to make this matter.
Ooh.
Beautiful fake again by Brokeman. Great patience on the pallet. The hit is going to come through now, though. Makes it back to the main building, and I think it was crowd control that has been cleansed, so windows unlocked again in the main building, making this way harder to play for Clarity. But guess what? He got his value from his pucks when it matters. He doesn't need them anymore.
If there's anything such as an early game build, that's Clarity's build right there. I mean, he was just looking for that starter, just to get that relief off of the weight off of his heart as well, off of his chest. And right now, you're just looking at a man who's enjoying DBD. It's like a casual game for him right now.
Of course, we do have to submit our builds in advance, so Clarity could just be like, yeah, this is my win condition, I'm gonna bring these pucks. He was bringing this build regardless, and he played into it beautifully. Zemi losing a 50 on this pallet. I don't know, Clarity is just... He's just winning everything right now. Really impressive play.
Felt like he picked the killer as well.
This was the tiebreaker that both teams
it felt like he picked it. It felt like he absolutely picked it. Like,
yes, he's very confident on this, it shows.
The difference in performance is astonishing. The contrast is so immense, and the chances, the hopes already dwindled. But it definitely looks like, great play. But how has he gotten out of there?
Clarity completely winning the 50 there, but gets auto-aimed onto the pallet instead of getting the tag onto Leppy. That hurts. I've been playing some 1v1s today, and I've had some horrible auto-aims in there too. But of course it matters more if it's on the competitive stage. And I can already tell you, the team that is awaiting Tamashi in the grand finals is going to be Team Rocket, which, based on the popular player of the same name. I'm not sure who is on the roster, but I definitely know that Rocket is. So that is going to be a treat for all the viewers, for sure, and for us to cast too.
Absolutely. Oh, he's playing this well right now, but a little too late, you know. This Wraith, I mean, talk about getting, you know, just every single one of your perks working for you. It's like he had a script in mind. He knew he was going to absolutely be in this situation. I think he kind of knew how hard it would be to play Wraith as a killer, so he was just playing on maximizing those stages. He probably knew it's going to be a 5-gen game. He just probably wanted to get as much as possible out of these survivors before they were able to get those 5-gens.
Shout out to Zimi, he's absolutely popping up in this individual chase. Oh, and now we see the body block not coming through from Team Izalith. It went full circle.
I mean, considering that, you know, what a start coming in from Izalith in terms of just the series itself, to just Tamashi locking in, insanely well playing well the Trickster on the side of map 2 as well, and then the race speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's gotta sting for Albatross. Yeah. It's unfortunate to not get the stages that you need, but hey, he put up some incredible results on the Wesker, and in the end, Tamashi was just the stronger team today, being both impressive on the killer and the survivor side. Well played to both of our teams. We're going to say goodbye to Tamashi now, and we're going to see Izalith in the finals playing against Team Rocket. We're going to throw you to a quick break while we're dealing with picks and bans. and we will be back shortly. Thank you so much for watching.
Ciao for now.